Hey guys, it's Suitonia here, and today I'm going to be talking about the Thrasher, which is a Mimitar destroyer. Before I get into the Thrasher though, I'd just like to say that the CSM elections opened today on Monday the 4th of June, and I'd be really grateful and honoured if you would cast your vote for me. Last year we accomplished quite a lot. Most of the small gang balance issues got resolved. Small ancillary armor repairers got put down to more reasonable prices, which made frigate PvP a lot more accessible again. The Hicks grams got nerfed and balanced correctly. Orpheus got rebalanced too, and a bunch of other cool changes, especially like the Lifeblood expansion and the balance changes in the latest March expansion, which I think, and of course the assault frigates, which I believe I had quite a nice impact in helping change. So if you have an Omega account and you're watching this video between June 4th and June 10th, I'd highly appreciate it if you would go to the CSM voting part and vote for me. Anyway, now that we've got the shilling part out of the way, let's get into this Thrasher. So Tech 1 destroyers are kind of have a bit of an issue in nullsec in that they are really slow. Tech 1 destroyers are slower than most attack cruisers in the game, and given the price of Tech 2 small guns in the high slots, they tend to not do too well in terms of efficiency when you compare them to cruisers, especially more like economic fit cruisers. Like for example, a Rapid Light Caracal on a budget is probably not that much more expensive than this Thrasher, and it's faster, does significantly more damage with more range, with way more hit points, and after insurance it's probably about close to the same-ish price, maybe 5 or 6 million-isk more. Destroyers generally only really have a place in the low sec meta game because of the fact that there are small plexes, which they specifically do very well in. Saying that though, I've had a lot of fun with the Thrasher recently just because it has quite a high engagement profile in that a lot of people will actually fight you, whereas cruisers generally provoke quite a lot of response from nullsec guys. Plenty of people will suicide into a Thrasher in something like a Sabre or a T3D or an assault frigate. So you're a lot more engageable, and I guess that's the only real benefit that the Thrasher really brings here. Although it is a pretty fun ship to fly, and of course flying a ship that generally doesn't see much use in nullsec and people think is quite vulnerable is a great way to get fights. Anyway, the fit I'm using is pretty bog standard. It's been around for quite a while, but I'm running 7 200mm autocannons in the high slots, a Tech 2 small newt, a Restrained Microwarpdrive, a Tech 2 medium shield extender, a faint warp scrambler, Tech 2 Gyrostab, Tech 2 damage control, 2 core defense field extenders, and a Tech 2 small burst Aerator for DPS. This Thrasher puts out quite a nice amount of DPS, almost 350 cold with 400 when you heat the guns, which is pretty decent. So it's really good at killing things really fast. It's pretty cheap. It can fight most assault frigates 1v1 pretty well, and of course assault frigates are kind of flavor of the month right now, based on the balance patch that happened in February. So it's a great ship that doesn't really cost too much and it's pretty easy to fly. It also has plenty of fitting left over even with this fit. So even with bad skills, you can fly this fit pretty well, and I believe even on an alpha account, you can fly this ship. Anyway, ammo selection is pretty standard for any autocannon ship in the game. You just want phase plasma, fusion, Republic Fleet EMP. Those are your close range damage options. Don't need the tracking ammo because you're flying a frigate guns, and the Frash has a tracking bonus anyway, and Hail and Barrage as the Tech 2 options. The Thrasher gets 2 bonuses per destroyer level, and it has a roll bonus. The roll bonus is optimal range, which unfortunately isn't too useful On autocannons, it's basically a wasted bonus in this case. But it does get 10% tracking speed per level, which is a very powerful bonus, and 5% small damage per level, which puts it actually on par with most other damage destroyers, even though it has the one less gun. And you do have the Newt too, which gives you a lot of pressure against ships like assault frigates. Anyway, so saying that, let's get into some clips. And yeah, it's a fun ship to fly, cheap, very engageable. So in this first clip, I'm fighting a Stiletto. Just to give you some context of before this clip, I was being chased by a horde roaming defense gang. They had about 7 ships or so, and most importantly, they had like Loki and Rapier, and I think like another cruiser that was following me. And they have Jaguar, a Stiletto, an Executioner, and another sort of frigate like an Aerator. Now I can kill the latter 4. I can kill the Jaguar, Stiletto, Aerator, and Executioner. So what I'm doing is I'm sort of just going back towards Great Wildlands from the main horde thing, and I'm trying to pick them off one by one by sort of slowly moving away. And as people come in to local, I just keep moving back towards Great Wildlands and hope that they are going to commit to tackling me. So that guy tried to tackle me on the other side of the gate, and the dudes just kind of came in a bit late because they'd been following me for the past 2 systems. In this case, you know, this is a big system, and the Jaguar's coming to the outgate with me. I made it look like I'm trying to run away from them and I want to escape, especially since they do have, I think they have a Caracal, a Loki, and a Rapier. Although I think the Rapier and the Caracal kind of give up sort of after this system, but the Loki is still potentially coming. And you can see there's a Jaguar on the outgate, and this is a good opportunity to fight the Jaguar. I reload Republic Fleet Phase Plasma here, but I think I should probably use Fusion against the Jaguar, because if I recall correctly, the Jaguar actually has lower explosive resist than thermal resists here. I'm also sort of just trying to look at him. I'm looking at his trying to bait him to maybe aggro me on this side, or just get him to do something, but it looks like he decided to jump, so I decided to jump too. What I should have done is maybe look at his ship. There's a lot of different Jaguar fits right now, and probably the main one that Pandemic Horde uses is the one that has like no guns or anything, and it's just like auxiliary like launchers or something, and it's just meant to tackle you, which I can probably easily kill. Against a more PvP oriented one, you can't kill it. So here you can see I'm looking at him, and I notice he doesn't have any guns fitted or any launchers fitted, so that means he's going to be in this tackle one, which is going to generally runs like double medium ancillary shield boosters and an assault damage control, and it's meant to sort of hold you down for their gang members coming in. But I do have the Newt in this case, so I can maybe try and Newt off his assault damage control. It's sort of my gut feeling. Also, because the Thrasher does do 400 DPS with heat, I'm not doing a good job of heating right now, and in fact he just activated his assault damage control there, which was very late, which is why I stopped heating again. I should have heated a bit more to begin with, and unfortunately I get jammed by EC300s, because, you know, EC300s are a very fun part of this game, and now I'm tackled by an Executioner as well pretty soon here. Although actually it looks like the Executioner is just kind of chilling and being weird. But I do get unjammed. One of the big problems with the Thrasher actually is it has a very low sensor strength. It's very easy to jam. In fact, it's easier to jam than most like Caldari and Galanti, just Tech 1 frigates. Destroyers have pretty bad sensor stats, unfortunately. So I got pretty unlucky there. Fortunately for me, the Jaguar didn't decide to leave. He decided to try and hold me, probably because the Loki's coming. The Executioner decides to scram me now, which is a problem for me. So I go on to the Executioner, but I should be able to handle him fine, just because the Jaguar didn't have any guns or weapons or whatever. He was just in a pure like tank tackle fit. And there's the Loki. He finally decloaks. Luckily for me, there was like a really big warp in the previous system, and I'm able to just take down the Executioner just as the Loki sort of MWDing towards me and get away. You know, I hope that's kind of like a cool little like video of sort of splitting a group up that are trying to hunt you, even in a slower ship like a Thrasher. It is possible. So next up we've got a Thrasher versus a Hawk. Luckily for me, this guy decides to brawl me down close to zero, though it was kind of a weird like arranged fight. He does have more control than me, and he does so he would actually be able to pull away and get away a little bit to try and like kite me out. Of course, I think he would very easily kill me if he was kiting me at say 6 to 7 kilometers or further away and just take advantage of his missile range bonus. As you can see, it's still pretty close. He almost gets me into armor as he goes down. This is just sort of more like kind of proof of concept that you can gank assault frigates in this and do pretty well, and if you lose then their ship costs like 1/5 of the price of yours, so it's normally a worthwhile trade. In this next fight there's a worm and a rifter kind of chilling around together. I'm trying to split them up because I can fight the worm but I can't really fight the worm with the rifter too. I think the rifter would probably push it over the edge, just because worms are so powerful they can still probably brawl a Thrasher at 0. And I know he's in a rocket like MSE style fit from a bit of an earlier encounter here. So I'm just warping to this gate, and hopefully there's a few other people in local 2 who've been following me around in flycatchers and stuff, so I'm just trying to see if the worm will decide to fight in a maybe a bad position if he's on top of me, just because worms are kind of overpowered. So, and I'm in a Thrasher, which people underestimate a lot, so I just check to see if maybe he will try it. The Rifter's coming now, as you can see on D-scan, and the worm is nice enough. He doesn't really do too much in the first like 6 or 7 seconds in the fight. Doesn't really do anything to me, and he doesn't even put his drones on me until this point in the fight, and I've already got him down pretty low. But I'm getting sniped out by this RT Rifter 2, which kind of sucks. And you know, worms are really OP. I mean, I end up burning out my newt here. I'm not sure if that makes too much of a difference. I also burn out my guns, which sucks. I think he would have died in like 1 or 2 more shots, but I think the Rift already put it over the edge. Of course, if he like actually just decided to go on me to begin with, then I probably would have died anyway. Worms are really powerful, and even in a Thrasher you might not be able to outbrawl them. Finally, I've got a bit of a funny meme clip for you. So I was annoying these Horde Rockle miners for quite a while when I realized that they were actually mining with some augmented mining drones, and these are worth 60 million ISK each. And I see that there's a kind of a Poipus here that's mining with them, so I decided to let's suicide the Thrasher and kill them, right? Each one of those drones is worth 5 times the value of my ship. I was trying to get the Wolf to fight me, or there was the Cheesis as well, but they just kept like bringing recons, and the Wolf wasn't really biting, so just decided, yeah man, let's just suicide on these drones. So you can have fun just being really weird and quirky with the Thrasher too. I do get pointed by the Cheesis here, and there is like a swarm of Rockle drones coming over to me, which do a ton of DPS, but I am able to at least take down all of the Poipus' drones, so he's down 300 million ISK. I try to burn away to maybe get out, but the Wolf scrams me. I don't think I would have got out anyway, because they had other Cheesis here. Anyway, it's pretty funny just doing weird things like that. Gotta always annoy the miners. Yeah, so I also have a few more sort of stream highlights following this. The Thrasher is super awesome, it's cheap, you can copy paste this fit just on an alpha account if you want to, and just everyone just underestimates it. I killed a few pretty cool ships while streaming in the Thrasher. I killed a Stalker, a Hecate, and a Wolf, so I'll show you those clips. But anyway, I highly recommend you just have fun in the Thrasher, even though it has a lot of drawbacks in that it is weaker than a attack cruiser in almost every single way in terms of just value and cost after insurance. It is significantly more likely to get a fight, and I think that can be important sometimes. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, enjoy the clips, and again, just so I can be the #1 shill, please vote for me in the CSM. Camping the one gate.
Warp drive active.
Oh, the problem is I probably aren't going to be able to catch him because Thrashers are pretty slow. My heated speed is his normal base speed, and since he has a light missile launchers, he's obviously going to be kiting. I guess I can see if he'll warp down to me or something. Oh, he did. Okay. It looks like he's actually brawling. Even though he does have... So he has light missile launchers, but he is in a brawling stalk. Which is kind of interesting. Hopefully we can out-brawl this though. Nice. Ooh, drop some faction too. Could have gone a lot worse, I guess. Paid actor. That's pretty much like a fit that I use, except he doesn't have rockets.
Warp drive active.
And he was DP, so he actually could have kited me at like 7 kilometers. But maybe the newt was hurting him a bit. And he would have been able to get out of range as well.
Warp drive active.
Maybe he'll fight here. Let's play in optimal range of the newt, but outside like void optimal for him. He's actually kiting me out, which is kind of weird. Like he's trying to pull away from me right now. Alright, looks like he's hull tanked. We should have this guy then. He is pulling away from me a little, but it looks like his scram just dropped. So I should be able to get on top of him. Approach him. He would have wrecked me at 0. I'm not really sure what he was doing there. So he was like dual web hull tank. Like that fits really good at killing people at 0. But for some reason he was moving away from me. I don't know if his settings were wrong or something, I don't know. Or not kill the Venture because he's actually at the keyboards. So we want to go in close to this guy because a wolf has a fall-off bonus. So what we want to do is make sure we sit on him, because that way he won't have the fall-off advantage versus me. And hopefully the newt will be enough to not allow him to use the assault damage control ability. Although he just used it now. Hopefully, the wolf's cap is really bad though, so the newt should hurt him. His assault ability just wore off. There you go, nice. Oh, not so nice when this blob comes. I'm probably going to die here. I wasn't aligned. The Cinnaball will probably just one-shot me. I can maybe kill the Stiletto if he's retarded, but... Oh, well, it was worth suiciding for a wolf. I could have got out if I was paying more attention. That Thrasher did have a good run though.